Okay, so hi, this is a session to teach you how to install Windows Server 2019. We discussed this in class and we also tried our hands on it. This is for group 1 and also for those who were not in class when we're having these activities, whether you're in group 1 or group 2. So we talked about the fact that you need to first open your virtual machine, your Azure virtual machine, log into it. When you log into it, before we start anything, you need to download the software called Power ISO, so that when you install the Windows Server 2019 installation document, it will see it as a digital DVD. This is the power, or this is the point of having Power ISO. So I'm going to open my browser within the virtual machine and search for the Power ISO. I'm going to do a Google search for Power ISO. I know I have some existing downloads here. This is for Windows Server. I'm going to remove this. So I'm going to type in Power ISO, download Power ISO. Once you type this in your search engine, click enter. Download Power ISO. So the first option is what I choose to use. I'm going to cancel this. So please download the 64-bit version. I have mine installed already. My antivirus is blocking the download from my own end, but when you download it, just scroll down within your virtual machine, open your downloads folder, and you should see the Power ISO document in here. Mine was stopped by my antivirus, so I'm just going to cancel this. But once you see it in here in your downloads folder, double click to start the installation. When it gets to the end, it's going to give you a page where certain things are selected. You can leave them as they are and click close. There is a button that says close. Once you close the installation wizard, you should find this icon on your desktop. If you look at the lower left corner of your screen where I am moving my cursor around, you should find the Power ISO icon there after the installation. So I'm doing a little bit of scrolling up and down because I don't want the virtual machine to take on my entire screen. So once you install that, we can now go back, select back, and search for the Windows Server 2019 ISO version. Type in here, download Windows Server 2019 ISO version, click enter. So this is what we're searching for. You'll find the Microsoft page that has the documents that we want. Click on it one time and click on this to download the documents that we need. Okay, it's about 5 GB in size. So ensure that the one you chose is in English language. You can see there's Chinese here. We just need the ISO version. So for our installation, you can see there are 2 other options in here. We wait for the download for our Windows Server. Okay, so from what we're seeing here, the installation has been successful. It says the file is ready to be seen. I'm going to scroll down and click on the folder to show us in the downloads. So this is what we have. This is the server installation document. You can see it has a Power ISO icon showing that it sees it as a DVD. Now when we want to install this on the hypervisor manager, it will not install if we leave this file in the general downloads folder. We need to have it on the C drive. So you can either enter the C drive by clicking here or using the longer route by clicking on PC. So the first thing we have to do is click on this one time. I've selected mine, and cut this document. So you can right click on it and say cut, or you can copy, but I'll advise you to cut it out, or you can press on Ctrl X on your keyboard. Now once you're done with that, click on the C drive, click on users, click on public downloads, right click in here and paste. Okay, so I'm not going to paste mine because I already have an instance of this in here. Okay, but for you, you need to paste. It's either you press this or click on Ctrl V on your keyboard, and it's going to paste it inside the C drive within this particular directory. So you go C drive, the users folder, public downloads. So once you have this in place, minimize this folder. Okay, also minimize your browser. This is not what we want to use. Now I'm going to scroll down my interface. I'm sure on your own interface all this will fit on your screen, but mine, I need to minimize this for recording sake. So in the search space within your VM desktop, type in hyper-v manager. So please take notes, you need your Hyper-V manager, because if you type Hyper-V, it also shows you quick create. No, we need to see the entire manager. So choose this option. Once you choose this option, by default your directory most times will be at the top. You won't see all the settings and options to format whatever it is you have in here. So select lab, the inner directory or folder here. It shows you more options for formatting your hypervisor. Now let us start the process, the long process of our installation. So there are two ways to always install any operating system or server on your hypervisor. You can use quick create or you can go the long route. Quick create is for people who already know the ins and outs of the hypervisor. So for you to learn the ins and outs and allow you to specify some things, we're not going to use this, so close this. So we're going to use the second option, which says new, and select the forward button. Once you select the forward button in front of new, click on virtual machine. So when your virtual machine wizard starts, click next. Now we need to name our virtual machine. So always use a name that makes you know what you have put on your Hyper-V manager. So WinServe 19 is what I named mine. You can name yours WinServer, put in the full thing. Some people might want to write Windows Server to it. Whatever it is, do not leave spaces in between the words. Write it as one word. Okay, now select store virtual machine in a different location. We want it to be on the C drive. So once you check on this box, select browse. Once you select browse, come to the left hand side here and select the C drive. So now in the C drive, you right click. Once you right click, select the second to the last option, which says new, and select folder. We want to create a folder called virtual machines. Once you've created this, double click to enter into the folder 112. Ensure that the newly created folder is what you're inside. Double click on your newly created folder called virtual machines. Once you're in there and the name shows up here, click on select folder option. So here you can see we're on the C drive within the folder called virtual machines. Now select next. So choose generation 2. Generation 2 of virtual machines allow the installation of digital DVDs. Generation 1 allows floppy disks and other older technology, so ensure that you choose generation 2. Now click next. Here we need to specify the RAM size. The current RAM size is 1 gigabyte. Now change this, clear this out and change it to 2048. 2048 means we are having a minimum of 2 gigabyte size of RAM. Once you've typed in, please don't make a mistake, 2048. Click next. Here we select the default switch. So the default switch allows your virtual machine to use the physical computer's internet card to connect to the internet. Okay, so you need to select the default switch from the drop down. Click on next, and here we specify the size of our Windows Server hard drive. So by default it always leaves it at 127 gigabytes. Okay, so I'm going to change mine to 60 gigabytes, or let's say 50 gigabytes. Ensure that it's large enough to take on the tasks that we want it to do. So 50 gig I think is enough so far. I don't know about yours. For group 1 we had some issues at this point. We tried to mount the DVD for installation in a different way, but I found some of the things that might have worked against us, so we're just going to leave it this way. Change the size or leave it as it is for the storage size. Now click next. So here we're going to point at the documents that we put under public downloads. So select the second option here. The second option is what you should tick. The second option. Now select browse, because you can see here it points at the general download folder. Now click browse for us to go to the C drive. So I don't know about you, you might not find yourself here. You might find yourself by default on the general downloads folder. Don't choose the installation CD from here. Ensure that you click on the C drive, select users, select public downloads, and select the DVD that we want to use. So I'm going to select this. Please take note, you are only going to have one document to use, or DVD to use. I have an instance of Windows 10, I believe 10 or 11 here, so that's why you can find 2 documents. But select your server, the server that you place there. Okay, so once you've selected that, click open. Now you can see it's pointing to a new location. Now click next. So it can it is displaying everything that we need to see, that we've configured in itself. So just click finish. So once we click finish here, you can see what we've mounted on our virtual manager, our Hyper-V manager. Click on this one time. We want the installation to see this particular information as an installation DVD, like it will naturally see it. So when you click on this one time, you come to the lower right corner of the screen, select settings, select your SCSI controller. This is it. Click on it once and select DVD drive. We want it to go and search for that DVD that we've pointed at in the public downloads and select OK. Now once we're done with that, you need to double click on this. Remember when we're trying this in class, I said once you click on the start button here, right, put your fingers on your enter and space bar button on your keyboard, space bar and enter button on your keyboard for 2 to 4 seconds and let it go. If you don't do this, the interface for your hypervisor downloads will not appear automatically. It will take a longer while, or sometimes you need to stop the action and go back in here and double click again before you restart the hypervisor interface. So before I click next here, please remember that for this task you need to take screenshots of your installation process. So on your own interface you would have this option. So the first thing I want you to do is look for this tool, this snipping tool, right? This allows you to take screenshots of whatever it is that you're doing on your desktop. Okay, so just to show that you're installing Windows Server 19, you click new. When you click new, it allows you to drag across the screen to show what you want to capture. Once you've captured it this way, you can save the document. So you can save the document by clicking save as. So here, save as, what screenshots? Let's say screenshot 2. You save it. So remember, that's within your pictures folder. So I'm going to minimize this. If you go down, if you want to see what you've captured just now, open the folder below, go to pictures, check for screenshots, and you can see all the screenshots that you've taken. At the end of this exercise, you may want to email it to yourself, or you may even want to use, just to be on the safer side, you may not want to use the snipping tool from within the VM. You want to use the one on your physical computer. So I think that will be much more better. Use the one on your physical computer to capture the screen. So now let's go back to the installation. Leave this as it is, click next. And remember, you can continue to take screenshots from different places that you want or different stages. Now click install now. Okay. So remember, for this place we need a good graphic interface, user interface for what we're doing. So select the second option here. Select the second option here and click next. Accept the terms and conditions by ticking this box. Click next. So we want to see that it has truly captured the hard disk space that we specified earlier. So click custom. So now you can see what I specified earlier. I wanted my hard disk space to be 50 gig, and if you left yours as 127, 100, 60, whatever it is, you would find it here. So don't try to do anything else here, just click next. Now the installation will go about its business by itself. We need to wait for this to reach 100. So this is the patience part. This will take between 4 to 6 minutes, or let's say maximum 7 minutes, according to the speed of your computer. So just be patient with this side, and remember, you can decide to still take screenshots at this stage, because once it's done, it has maybe after after the installation, it finishes up and it restarts the Hyper-V, and it will restart itself like a time or two. Then will go on with the installation. But this is a silent part of the installation where you need to wait. Okay, so the installation has reached 100% now. Please do not touch anything. It's gonna restart the Hyper-V interface at least around two times while getting the Windows Server interface ready for your usage. Okay, it's gonna restart itself from this point going forward. Don't touch the button here, it's gonna restart itself. So it's gonna get ready the interface. Just leave it as it's installing, completing the installation. Okay, so now at this point, as an administrator, you need to create your own password. Okay, your password has to have small letters, capital letter, at least one, a number, and a character from the keyboard. If you do not add all this together, your password will not be accepted by the system. So I'm going to create my own password here and repeat it on the lower level. Ensure that you write this password somewhere, because if you forget this password, you will not be able to log in. Please take note of this. I'm just going to maximize this so that I can see the finish button. So once you click finish, it's going to give you this interface. It's going to ask you about the default resolution that you want to be seeing your screen at. I'm going to leave mine at this level, that is 1024. Whatever resolution works for you, no problem, but always ensure that it's not on the large scale, whereby sometimes you might want to go back to your Hyper-V manager and you are not able to see the panel for it. So I'm not going to make mine the biggest. So connect. So just leave it as it is. Now we have the interface for our Windows Server. At this point, you need to enter that password that you just created. Please remember to write it somewhere you can remember. Click enter. Okay, once you click enter, it's going to get our desktop on the Windows Server ready for us. Just hold on for a second. So click no here, because we don't want other PCs to be discovering, for this to be discovered through other PCs. Your server manager is going to be loaded by default. Remember to continue to take screenshots of all this, and this is the dashboard for our server manager, and this was where we needed to be in our last lecture. Okay, so once you see this interface, please understand, once you see this interface, understand that we have completed this task. We have successfully installed the Windows Server 2019. You can close the server manager. We'll work here later on, but not today. Close the server manager, right? Then within this particular OS, this one that we've opened in here, we need to log out of this. Try to scroll down. So if you cannot see below the screen inside this, click on your Windows icon on your keyboard. It is two buttons before your space bar. I don't want to maximize this. Okay, let me try to maximize this, and I'll scroll down. Remember, this is inside the Windows Server 2019. Click on the Windows icon. So that was for my outer computer. Oh my, just a second. My computer is hanging. Okay, so now I'm back in here. So I've scrolled down the interface for the Windows Server. Now click on the Windows icon, select the power button, select shutdown. Okay, here it's going to ask you what's the reason for your shutdown. Select the drop down and say order planned, right? Order planned. Once you select that, click continue, and it's going to shut down your Windows Server the right way to stop all the services. Remember, it's supposed to be in charge of your network. Once it's finished shutting that down, you come here and you close this dialog box. You can see the Windows Server state is off. So we have successfully installed Windows Server 2019. So once we're done with this, you can close your hypervisor and also close every other program that we left opened in our virtual machine, the browser, and also the folder. Okay, once we're done with this, we can now shut down our VM. We shut it down first. Click OK. So now that we've successfully shut that down, ensure that your Azure service is still not running. Ensure that it's still not running. Always check, because if you leave it running, you're running down the resources of precious hours that can be useful to you. So my dashboard will be a little bit different from yours. My Azure board has something different, but I can always check my own virtual machine. Here you can see mine is running, so I'm going to stop my Azure services from running. Wait till it says the word stop. Once it says stop, then we have completed our process.